Good morning. How are you? Oh, just got to have a drink actually. I've got a bit of a croaky throat today, so um, I'm blogging from home today. I'm off Saturday and Sunday this week, so I've got to work Monday. The business I work for, we're moving premises, so it's all hands on deck for next week, and it's going to be a long one, and it's going to be long days as well. But the sooner we get it done, the better, and then we start a new chapter, and that's fantastic. As a person of a certain age, I embrace change, and I think you would expect that considering the amount of places I've lived. Um, I worked out the other day actually that I probably lived in the UK alone 30 different places, always moving home. On top of that, obviously lived in Spain, bought a house in France, and now I'm living in Australia. So for me, it's great. It's totally against my star sign, by the way, because I am a Taurus and I should be a homebody and a nest maker and all the rest of it, but I'm not. I like travelling. I'm always travelling. I'm always moving. And actually, now in this house, we hope to be here for the duration. A friend said to me it's future proofed, and it is future proof because it's a villa or a bungalow as you'd call them in the UK. It's all on one level, and it's perfect as you get older. I mean, look, I am 53. I've got a while to go yet, hopefully, but I am feeling the aches and pains, and it's nice to be in a one level property and not have to go upstairs. So yeah, it's God, it makes me feel old actually. You know, I mean, my dad's, what is he now, 77? He'd probably kill me because I don't think he is actually. I think he might be 75. But, and he's in his bungalow. And I know not that long ago I would always take the mick out of my dad for living in a bungalow and how old he's getting and stuff. And then there's me in my bungalow or villa, whatever you want to call it, in the same sort of situation. So yeah, my two cats are fighting. Will you behave? They always do it when I'm doing this. They fight. Behave. Anyway, a little bit of anxiety this week. I had a COVID jab done, my vaccination, my booster. Had it a little bit before I should have done, but I wanted it complete before I go on holiday. Now, I am a firm believer in vaccinations, and I think we should all get them done if we can. There's a lot of nonsense that goes around, conspiracy theories and all the rest of it about them, but they've never really affected me. So whatever I've had, whatever booster I've had, whatever actual vaccine I've had, whether it's flu, COVID, I've had no ill effects, none whatsoever. It did get me worried for a bit, and that's the anxious mind thing again, because I'm thinking, well, is it not having the same effects on me? I didn't really know. Googled it as you do, or as I do, and possibly my immune system isn't working in the way it should be, or used to be as such. So the older you get, the less ill effects you also feel. So obviously that's not good for someone who suffers with health anxiety, because now I'm going to just panic about why I'm not feeling side effects. And now I'm searching out side effects. So when I had the jab, the only sort of effects I had was obviously the sore arm, and I felt a little bit dazed, but that was it, really. That's it. I've also, this week, I've got a new supplement. Now, I am a firm believer in supplements, and I do take a lot each day. And this week I bought what I can't really pronounce it. It's ashwagandha. Ashwagandha. Here we go. And it's a It's a root, and it's used to treat, it says here, relieve symptoms of stress and mild anxiety. Mine's a bit more than mild, but I thought I'd give it a go, and there's a lot of good things about it online, and so far so good. Vivid dreams, blimey, really vivid dreams, and I thought, why am I dreaming so much? Another thing you really shouldn't Google, because there's always a really bad reason why you're dreaming so much, and I didn't realise that as well. Anyway, apparently that supplement or root can cause vivid dreams. So hopefully that answers my question, and it's nothing more sinister, but who knows. The sun is out. I've been out this morning, so I've done 7Ks this morning, and I was walking around Woodbridge Lakes, and I walked into town the long way, basically, and it's beautiful out there, and I still have my jacket on. It's 24, 25 degrees, and when I look at it logically, in the UK, I would be practically naked, but here, I still wear that jacket. And whether it's because I'm getting older and I'm feeling the cold a bit more, I just do not know. But I do feel the cold. So the slightest breeze, and it is quite windy in Western Australia, and my jacket's on. So this morning it was on. But then I was out walking at like 10 to 8, so, you know. Britishness. I just wanted to mention a little bit about being British today. British. People always take the mick out of me for saying British. It's the accent thing over here. Queen Elizabeth, bless her. My home is, there's the old Routemaster bus. And what I always have, I had these in Spain as well. I do my little cactus in Marmite jars. And they seem to like them, actually. And they take off quite well. This was tiny when I put it in, and now it's growing other bits of cactus as well. So there you go. It likes Marmite jars, obviously. My home is a bit of a homage to all things not English, British, all things United Kingdom. And it really does go to show how much I miss the UK. My life is centred around British television, British news, and I can live in this bubble quite easily. I go around to antique shops, and there are a few here, charity shops, searching online, and I get all, I don't know, little bits of memorabilia from the UK. I found a couple of Wade, Portsmouth and Southampton little jugs from the local antique shop as well, which was quite a find for me. So dotted around, there's all these little things about the UK, just these little reminders of home, really. And I think that's important. And I had that, when I was living in Spain as well, equally, I had a lot of things around me that just brought back good memories. And that's the reason why I've settled so well. Certainly this time. I brought some stuff with me. I sent some stuff over. And there's still actually quite a bit of stuff at my father's house as well. So there's a lot of things I need to feel secure and comfortable. I don't know why that is. I've always been that way. And the more stuff I have around me, the better. Watching the news from the UK as well. The King and Queen coming to Australia in October. Sadly, they're not coming to the West, but they're going to be here. I'm a royalist. I've always been a royalist. I believe strongly in the monarchy and the good work that they do, the charity work they do. I mean, a lot of these charities, if they did not have a royal as patron, they wouldn't exist in the same way. The royal family make a lot of money. They certainly make more money than they take out of the state. And I think we should be rightly proud of them. It's not the same since Her Majesty died. And, King Charles is very different. But nevertheless, It is a part of the UK that I admire and always look to. The politics, equally, I love the politics in Britain. It's so confrontational, it's so different to everything else in other countries. And I know when I lived in Spain, I started to take a bit of an interest in Spanish politics and the royal family over there, but it wasn't the same. And I know my other half gets a bit, you really need to watch Australian television, watch Australian news. I do, bits and pieces, but in all fairness, not a lot happens here. It really doesn't. So I need that sort of that connection with home. Speak to my dad. Funnily enough, I only speak to my dad probably only every couple of weeks, and that way we have a lot to talk about. And I suppose family-wise, we've never been that close, but me and my father do really, really talk about politics. It's our passion, both of us. My father stood for parliamentary election. He stood for local elections as well. So he's very, very big on politics, and I enjoy that time with my dad. Even now, being thousands of miles away, just talking about, the climate in the UK and the new government over there, which is interesting. I thought it was quite living in Australia. I mean, the winter fuel payments. I haven't really paid an electric bill here since we moved because the state here keeps on giving us money towards our electricity, and in the UK they talk about taking money away, and it's just that big difference. And we do get quite a lot here. We also pay a lot, so that it costs a lot as well. So I'm constantly finding myself comparing like for like, and I did that in Spain as well. And even when I go to a supermarket, I head straight for the British aisle. I have to have my Scottish oatcakes, must, and Twiglets. I gave my boss at work a Twiglet on, day was she in? Friday, and I think she nearly choked. She hated it. It's part of my makeup. I love Twiglets, love Marmite, hate Vegemite, but I don't. But I'd rather have Marmite and British Marmite. They do Australian Marmite, just not the same. Cheese. They do great cheese in Australia actually, and it is it's on a par with English cheese. And I do love good old British cheddar, British Stilton. Can't get Stilton so much here actually, but cheddar you can. And yeah, so anything that reminds me of home is great. I even cook, a proper Sunday roast. You cannot get a Sunday roast in this country for love the money that is like a proper English roast that my gran or my mum or even I cook. You cannot get them. They just do not do it right. And yeah, I do like to cook. And steak and kidney pie. So I do like good old steak and kidney pie. Kidney, can you find it here? Can you how? There was one butcher's that I did find it in. Can get it now. I put something on social media the other day about Heinz Soup did it was a kidney soup back in the 70s. I vaguely remember it. And the goblin meat puddings and the Frey's Bentos pies. Now, when I was living in Spain, one of my dear friends, Paul and Mish, Paul turned up on my doorstep one day with a Frey's Bentos pie from the English supermarket. I couldn't find them anywhere, and he found me one and he brought it to me. And do you know what? I had it, kind of a bit disappointed because it wasn't as nice as what I thought, but then nothing is. Like those Vesta curries you used to get, just not as good, but it's still that connection with home. So if I find a Vesta curry, it's going down my gullet. It really is. But the Frey's Bentos pie, the pastry I love, the real flaky pastry and the soggy bottom. everything about it. The bad cooking in the UK. I didn't think it was bad, but apparently it is. It's not up to French cuisine or Italian cuisine, but it's British, and I love it, and I love home. So I've got my homage to the UK off my chest today, and it's just things I wanted to say about, you know, being back in Britain. I don't think I'm going to be back in Britain for a while, so you know, I still need to talk about it and remember it. The rain, the wind. I need to remember it, and I need to, you know, I will never ever, wherever I live in the world, forget my roots. So if we end up moving to Thailand, I will be equally as expat as I've always been. I love the expat community. People will hate me for that because, you know, the Englishman abroad, I am that. I really am. And I enjoy being part of a community. I also mix with the locals. Don't get me wrong. You know, I love Spanish people. I'm getting used to Australian people. I love the people I work with, adore the people I work with in every respect, and have some good Australian friends. But, you know, you'll never get rid of that Englishness out of me. It's always going to be there, as much as my other half hates it, and other people. So, and that, incidentally, is not about being right-wing and fascist. It is literally just about appreciating the country you come from. And when you go and live in Spain, every house has a Spanish flag flying from the roof. The United States has a flag. The English somehow get a little bit scared about just celebrating who they are, and we should. Whatever colour we are, we should celebrate our Britishness if that's where we are from. Nothing to do with colour, nothing to do with race. It's just about your roots and where you're from. So, there you go. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourselves. If you've got the sun like we have here, great. If it's, I'm guessing the weather's changed in the UK now. I haven't really looked, but if it has, try and enjoy it. Look after yourselves, and I'll speak to you next week. Ciao.